Hello and welcome to another Woman of the Week. I'm Jackie Rives, your community leader for the Women of the Channel Leadership Network. Joining me today is Elizabeth MacEwan, Lead Sales Enablement Manager, Go-to-Market Strategy and Enablement for Cloud Software Group. And she's one of our Women of the Channel ambassadors, facilitating our VIP book club alongside with Sarah, who you previously met. Thank you, Liz, for being here and joining us and allowing us to celebrate you this week.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm having a blast on my Women of the Channel journey. It's been a little over 2 years now, and I can honestly say I'm not sure I would be even close to as successful as I've been so far without this community.
Oh, I'd love to hear that, Liz. You have been a wonderful asset for the community itself as well, like always welcoming people and getting those conversations started. So we're so glad to have you. Let's dive into some of those icebreaker questions. Where do you live and where did you grow up if that's different?
So I live in South Florida, Palm Beach County, and I also grew up here. I did move away a few times, but I keep ending up back home. So I think this is probably where I'll stay. But sometimes when people ask where I live, I instead say Main Street, USA, because I love to go to Disney. So, but my real home is in South Florida.
I love that. And I'm right there with you. So many great memories going to Disney with the girls. So I have a fondness for Main Street USA as well. All right. What is a little known fact about you that you're willing to share?
So something that a lot of people are surprised to learn about me is this is actually my second career because I started in education. But even more kind of obscure is that my undergrad degree is a Bachelor of Music. So my original degree was in music education, a double principal in voice and piano. And that's how I got through college, was on music scholarships and gigging. And I've performed in Poland and New York. And yeah, it was quite a time. So I'm a musician at heart.
That is very cool. I don't know if I knew that about you, actually. I think that's something new I learned.
Yeah.
Woo, you're just full of surprises. I love it. All right, well, let's switch gears and get into that professional background. So, we're just going to start off with a bang because I know you're going to be okay with it. So, what is the most important risk you took and why? What were the outcomes?
Yeah, so for me, that would definitely be changing careers at not what I would call a young age. So after 15 years in education, the last 12 being a high school librarian, a part-time librarian at night for a few years, I made this switch to the corporate world and to corporate enablement and partner enablement in particular. And it was very scary. And I could definitely see some people thinking, are you out of your mind? Because most people in education tend to stay until it's time to retire. But it was the right decision for me. And it changed my life in so many ways, including helping me improve my health, improving my finances, and just giving me this whole new community of people that I've been really, really lucky to get to know. So huge risk, but huge reward.
We're certainly glad that you came over to the channel and the IT industry. And I'm sure that your team and your customers that you're helping enable are very thrilled that you did that as well. Selfishly in the community, of course, it's going to be for the book club because you've taught me so much about book clubs. I really didn't know anything getting into that. So it's been really fun getting to know you and being inspired again on how much I do love to read. So we're sure glad that you did that. Have you ever questioned your abilities or qualifications? If so, how did you overcome those challenges?
So I'm sure everybody has. And for me, coming into the corporate world, I was pretty sure that I was just going to be lost. I remember I used to tell my first director, Danielle, I used to tell her, I feel like the stupidest person in the room. And she and my team at that time used to encourage me and talk to me about all the skills that I brought to the table from my previous career. And that just, it stuck with me and it gave me confidence. And now, as I've went through a lot of change because we were purchased by private equity, merged with another company, I'm in my third role in just a little over 2 years, third team, fourth boss, third VP. I mean, it's a lot, right?
A lot of
I,
change.
yeah, I've kept that with me because every time I've jumped into one of these new roles with new leadership and a new team, I've had to remind myself that whatever new stuff is going on, I still bring a lot to the table and I can accomplish what needs to be accomplished. It's a little scary, but somehow so far I've gotten it done and I'm confident that I'm going to continue to do that.
We are definitely confident in you in that. And you're kind of pointing out some ways that you successfully differentiate yourself. Are there any other additional ways that you try to make yourself stand out a little bit or highlight your skills?
So I think a little more specifically, just being extremely versatile, being really scrappy.
Hmm.
When on my first team, one of my favorite humans who taught me so much, she actually referred to me one time, and it wasn't a super serious conversation, but she said something about me being like the Swiss Army knife of enablement. Because as an educator, you don't have a marketing arm, a comms arm, and especially running a library program, I was dealing with vendors, school district, teachers, students, parents, the community, and I had to figure out how to manage all of it. And so when I got to corporate, I realized I had a lot of skills that a lot of people maybe they were a little more siloed, whereas I could kind of jump in and do a lot of different things, anything from video production to creating e-learnings to project planning to events. And I think that has set me apart. So I still have a lot to learn about the industry and about the channel, and all of that knowledge will come, but all of those skills they remained, and I was able to bring them with me and make myself useful on my teams.
I love that description that she gave you as a Swiss Army knife. That's that's so cool. One that she noticed all these little skills and then brought your attention to it. You know, even in my experience, like changing verticals in like career, like you're like, oh my gosh, what will people think? Like I don't have these specific skills that they have. And then you're like, wait a minute, I have a lot of transferable skills that can be leveraged here that could give you that cutting edge. So I'm glad that you used that example. I know that's going to resonate with people. All right, let's pivot to your leadership. How do you continue to grow and develop as a leader?
So for me, I really do place a lot of priority on my own personal and professional development. You cannot always depend on having a manager or a company that will pour into you in that way. And I was very lucky that when I started, I did. The VP I had at the time, Trisha, who you know very well, she gave us so many opportunities. Our Women of the Channel membership, the ability to do some really great courses with Achieve Unite, the ability to attend Channel Focus Virtual my first year. All of that professional development really helped me grow and built a strong foundation. So now, even though things are a little different, as far as the environment and what they'll spend money on, I find ways to still prioritize my professional development. And that might mean, spending a little of my own money to go to a conference. That might mean volunteering to help participate in things and organizations. Or it might be something as simple as making sure that I sign up for a free webinar and then book the time on my calendar to attend. I've also got business book club that I participate in with Leslie Vanetz, which is really, really fun. And then, of course, the book club with Women of the Channel, which has been awesome too. So I think all of that, plus also trying to balance focusing on your mental and physical health, is a really important part of leadership. But the number one thing for me, and this probably makes me a little bit different than some people in corporate, is I want to see everything through a people first mentality. I truly believe, and I know it sounds naive, but if we put people first as companies, as sellers, as enablers, I truly believe the ROI will far surpass anything we could imagine. So that's really important to me. And that might come from me being a teacher and having my students. But now I have my team members and my partners and the customers and the sellers and the people that I'm in organizations with. So people over everything, I think, is a really important foundation of a good leader.
I mean, that's a great value. I don't think it's naive at all. There was a lot of messaging around that at Women of the Channel East, honestly. From your employees, like investing in your employees to investing in your customers. Even for me, like I think servant leadership hits home for me, and it probably started out in the military. So like I even like to invest in my leaders, even if it's just a simple like, hey, how are you doing? Like, how can I help you? Like you look like you're overloaded. But yes, I 100% agree with you. Like investing in people and making decisions, and looking at the way it impacts people, you're setting yourself up for success, in my opinion. So you and I are in agreement, and I'm not surprised because we agree a lot of things, and we definitely learn from one each other a lot. So Liz, it was so great getting to spend more time with you and get to know you further. I'm very excited that you were able to give us this time today because I do want the community to get to know you, just as we did with Sarah, because you guys are doing amazing things as our book club facilitators. You are literally pouring into the community for nothing but your passion for reading and for people. So thank you so much, really, on behalf of all of us.
Thank you. And I'm trying to pour in because all of you have poured into me. So thank you.
Well, there you have it, Women of the Channel Leadership Network. Please continue the conversation, give Liz shout outs, and, give your feedback and your insights. We don't want the conversation to stop here. So until next time, happy Wednesday.